Welcome back to Coach Quip. I'm Coach Robyn.
I'm Coach Chris.
This is episode 170. It is officially 2025, and we are coming at you today with 5 tips to keep your resolutions this year.
All right. You know, this is the time of year it happens. Hopefully you've been gaining some traction on your resolutions, not, in the lead up here and not just one of those folks who are saying day one starts now. But if you are, either way, we have some ways to help you hold on to those goals. We know that people drop their resolutions, 17 days, something like that?
Oh, it's
probably shorter
good.
now. Yeah.
It's not good.
Mid-January. By the time you're listening to this on January 6th, some folks have already fallen off their resolutions. But we have a couple of tips to help you set great resolutions and keep them. So first up is to get an accountability buddy. If you want success in your resolutions, lean on the people around you. So it doesn't matter if it's a friend, if it's a colleague at work, if it's a family member, or I don't know, a stranger on the internet. Having somebody,
really?
Yeah, maybe. I will say I have some great strangers on the internet.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Like Instagram DMs. Yes. Don't go looking for one. They'll find you.
They will find you. But whether you're telling this to your spouse or to a coach, having somebody that you can share your goals with can help keep you accountable. We talk about the power of grouping up all of the time, and this is just another example of that.
I promise you that if you are thinking about doing something, whatever that thing is, and there is someone in your mind that you're like, I wonder if they do it with me, you just have to ask them. And yeah. it truly starts as simple as that. I mean, all of Edge comes back to someone asking me if I wanted to do, I feel like I've told this story before too, to do the run leg of Beach to Battleship. Okay. Which was a full distance Ironman. I'd never done a marathon. And because that was her goal for the year, way back, I'm going to tell you what year, 1892. But that's literally what sparked everything and it just took her asking, 2 other people, do you want to do this thing, to really kind of plant the seed. So if it seems scary or overwhelming, but still kind of fun and interesting, think of who might do it with you and ask them.
Coach Robyn, you want to go roller skating with me tomorrow night?
No.
Okay. It doesn't work every time. But that is fortunately not a resolution.
I will go there and take content. Next up, I wrote this one. Make it sparkly. Not physically sparkly unless you really want to. But it should be something that excites you. I know in the prior episode, 169, we were talking about reviewing your year. If something seemed heavy, get rid of it. Mm-hmm. You should be thinking about resolutions and things that you want to chase that are they literally give you energy. They give you a little spark. They give you a little pick-me-up that you maybe are a little scared of it. It's a whisper in your head that keeps going over and over and over. If you are thinking about it more than once, or you're starting to ask questions about it. We always say that about athletes. Yep. When they start asking questions like, well, when you do a triathlon, what kind of bike do you use? I'm like, bingo, I know what you're doing this year. That is a great sign that it's sparkly, and that's something you should be drawn to. If it's something that you're dreading, or is seeming heavy, or maybe kind of outdated or just out of what you want to be doing, don't commit to that, right? Commit to the sparkly thing, like roller skating. Is that one of yours?
No. I'm still trying to get you to go.
I'll go ice skating.
But someone did mention roller skating to me yesterday, and I said thank you for listening.
Oh, that's nice. Are they still calling you Captain Chris?
Only one person called me Captain.
Oh, it's dying off. Bring it back, people.
I know. Next up is to be smart about your goal setting and break it up. So don't say that you are going to lose weight this year, right? That's too general and it's too long of a time frame. So we want to set, that can be your big goal, right? In the back of your mind, that can be your big goal. But in order to accomplish your resolution, you're going to need to break it up. You're going to have to make smaller chunks and smaller, more achievable goals so that you can measure your progress along the way and so that you stay motivated. Because I can tell you as a person who, my next race on my calendar is September 2025.
Woo! You got to find something else.
I have to find something else because while, yes, that
I'm shocked that you just let us know that date.
Yeah, well, you won't know what
Tune
it is.
in.
But that's a nice long runway for me in theory, but staying accountable and staying motivated through that time is also really tough. So I need to set smaller goals, like do your speed work along the way. And that's the way that you can use this opportunity of goal setting to really create some guardrails that can keep you on track to accomplish your resolution.
Yeah, it is crazy, because I do think that we have these ideas and they're big and they're grandiose, but unless it's not broken up, it's never going to get done. I promise you, right? This is the classic, when I taught and people hadn't done, the first half of the year's worth of work, and then they're trying to write a paper in one night. It doesn't work.
Right.
Like it's never going to be good, right? So if bringing back to sports, if you resolve to run a marathon, you're going to start, maybe January is going for a run 2 times a week, run walking. Check the box. January, check. Now figure out what to do for February. If you're trying to eat healthier, trying to maybe incorporate, this is what I'm doing right now, a fruit or a vegetable every single meal, right? So I'm making sure to get to that 5. Instead of completely overhauling, making one small change instead of all of the changes all at once.
Yeah, and another pro tip around that is adding in versus taking away.
Yeah.
So that's a great way that you're doing it right now. But yeah, these goal pieces are so incredibly important.
All right, next up is to cap it, right? Please do not think about doing all the things all the time. Because honestly, as a coach, when an athlete comes to me and they're like, I'm going to run, and let's say I know that they've been capping out at like 20 to 25 miles a week. I want to hit 80 miles a week this year, and I want to qualify for Boston, and I want to do a 50K, and then in the fall, I'm going to do a 70.3.
Right.
I'm like, you're either going to blow up or that's self-sabotage. It's one or the other, right? So they don't always have to be, resolutions that are race-related, but that's just an example. You will have much better success if you can focus, and it'll actually give you a chance to focus on the ones that are most sparkly and excite you the most. So what I would say to that athlete, no one's done that to me yet, don't worry, yet. Still have yet to get their intakes back for 2025. But, what I would say to them is, okay, if you're to look at this, which one are you most excited about? And they would say the 50K. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to stack your year around that and let everything else either fold in or fall away. And by capping it, we are allowing ourselves to, yes, focus, but also it's accountability too. When we vomit our resolutions, I promise you, you're not going to achieve all of them.
Right.
And you're going to do them all shitty. So pick 1, pick 2, sparkly, fun, break it up, and keep it low. Cap it off.
This is a great reason to have a coach, because a coach can look at your big vomit pile of resolutions and tell you which ones are
raceaholics. We know who you are.
Yep. But also, if you don't have a coach, then find a trusted friend to take a look at your goals or your resolutions and narrow them down, because that really will be the way that you'll be able to accomplish more.
All right, last but not least, my favorite, Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about this, about missing once but never twice, right? And I think this is, for me, I'm very hard on myself. So when I don't do something, whether it's professionally or athletically or personally, I get mad at myself. And then I do have a tendency to be kind of paralyzed by that self-loathing. So if you have a resolution and you mess up, just leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
You have the opportunity, when you miss once, to get the frickin' train back on the track. And don't assume that it's just an opportunity to let yourself completely off the hook and throw everything out all at once, right? Same thing if you eat, let's say, Pop-Tarts for breakfast, and I forgot my fruit or vegetable. That is not an opportunity for me to go to McDonald's for lunch. It is instead an opportunity for maybe to go home and figure out what I can make that is going to be a little bit more like how I'm supposed to be eating, right? So miss once, never twice. Make a deal with yourself when you're making your resolutions that when you miss, it's a one-time thing, and then right the wrong. It doesn't mean that later on down the road you can't have another one time, right? But it just means that you're not going to start stacking the bad habits when you're trying to chase something good.
Definitely. I'm glad you got to bring James back into the conversation.
He was feeling lonely.
Yeah, it's been a couple episodes. All right, so it is resolution time. These are our 5 tips for creating stronger resolutions and making sure that you achieve them. So first up is to get an accountability buddy.
Next up, make it sparkly.
Then be smart about your goal setting, so break it up.
And on that one, we're going to cap it. Don't do everything at once.
And then you can miss once, but never twice in a row.
And that's it. We want to hear, what are your resolutions? You can DM us. You don't have to post us and tag us, but we want to know what they are. So get going. Thanks for listening to Coach Quip. Original music performed by Mend. Follow us online on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Edge Athlete Lounge. Our podcast lives in the blog section of our website. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and you can check out the show notes for additional ways to contact us. Ready, set, onward we go.